The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Stylings. She has some great music to share with us. She's going to do some a cappella work with us as well, and she is going to be at the Smith Center coming up on September 28th, so you're going to want to catch her soon for that. And also,
what's her name again?
Her name is Elisa Fiorillo. And we also have, thanks John, remember to kill you later. We also have on this show the wonderful Miss Tin Hwang. Yes, we are very happy to have her on the show as well. She is a local lawyer here in town, and she's going to be talking to us about family law. She's not just a local lawyer, she's my lawyer. I have no family problems, but she's definitely taking care of some personal injury things, and that's how I met her and fell in love with her, and I said, I have to have you on the show and so that we could talk about it, and she's going to be on the show to talk about that. So, what do we have else going on? Who am I and what is this all about? Well, who am I? I am Locq Fortune with Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. I'm also a local psychic here in town. I'm the only psychic in Las Vegas that's actually licensed to come to the client, to your special event, to your party. So if you have anything going on and you'd like to have a party and it's going to be a little bit different, you already got the bartender and you already got the DJ set in mind and you want to stand out a little bit, how about a fortune teller? I'll be more than happy to come to your event. I'm also the author of Vibology. Vibology is a book about you. If you've got a name, then you're going to want to get this book because it's about your name. It's about how to find out more information about your name and how to find out about people that you meet that might have a name that you're interested in. So those are the things that you're going to want to look forward to. That's available for download on Amazon.com. What else do we have going on? Well, we had a contest. We had a contest that we closed down the last episode with, and it was a contest. It was the shirt contest. We have no winners of the shirt contest. Why? Because I did not wear the shirt. That's right. The shirt that I was wearing had not been seen before. You was wondering whether or not the whole contest, if you remember, was you could win a virtual reality kit if you were able to name the episode of which I wore the shirt on, because I wear a different shirt with every show. And so if I'd worn that shirt with, if you could identify the shirt that I wore on a previous show, the shirt that I wore on that show, then you'd be able to win it. Well, guess what? I looked back at all the footage of the 14 previous shows, and I had not worn that shirt. So we could not get a winner to that one. But good news is that carries on, and guess what? I have worn this shirt before. Okay, so this is the first time that I'm wearing a shirt, and you've got 14 episodes to look back on. If you find the one and you're the first person to post the like on my fan page referring to the episode that you saw this shirt on last, you, my friend, have just won yourself a virtual reality kit. If you want to find out how to win some of the extras that were on there, then tune into that show to find out how to win the extras, and you'll win those also as well. All you have to do is determine which show I've worn this shirt on. Speaking of which, we also have going to be talking about what the format of this second season is going to be. Format of this second season is going to go sort of like this, the preamble, where I tell you about what's going on and what's been going on in Las Vegas. This segment is going to also have allusions to the final segment of the show, things that you're going to want to stay tuned in for. I am going to be doing product reviews. So I've done some product reviews before, and so at the end of this show, I'll be doing some product updates. I will be reviewing this product and this product, if you're wondering what they are, next week, because I'll be finding out exactly what they are and what they do this week. But at the end of this show, we're going to give you an update on the Fix Me Stick and whether or not how I felt about the service that I got with the Fix Me Stick. And we're going to talk to you about a few other items. Other than that, we've got a great show ahead of you. And if you have any information that you'd like to share with me, then feel free to visit my fan page, Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. You can also visit my other fan page if you're interested in my psychic services or would like to have me come out for either a private reading or a party. And that is A Fortune on Wheels. That's also available to you on Facebook. So you can visit either of those pages. And other than that, I want you to stay tuned. We got some pretty interesting commercials that we filmed. I had some fun filming these commercials during break while we had our break time. So we'll have some interesting things for you to look at on our station break. And we'll be right back with the amazing song stylings of Miss Elisa Fiorillo.
Hey, this is Mingo from Mingo Kitchen and Lounge. Come downtown to my space, my restaurant, at 1017 South 1st Street in the Las Vegas Art District inside of Art Square. A couple of things we have going on is happy hour. That's from 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, except for First Friday. Sorry about that. And we're actually going to feature a summer happy hour, which will be 3 to 7 p.m., which is June 1st now through August 31st. So we're actually extending it an hour. And so you can join us for that extra hour of cocktails, food, and fun. Tuesdays, we have Taco Tuesday. We're starting that June 20th. And that'll be $2 tacos. We're going to feature a special taco, and it'll be only $2 with the purchase of any alcoholic beverage. And Saturdays, you can see Locq in person and get a free complimentary reading at our Psychic Saturday brunch, and that's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And welcome back to Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. I am very honored and humbled to have a very special guest here in the studio today, Elisa Fiorillo. Elisa Fiorillo.
It's the hardest name on the planet.
Elisa Fiorillo.
Elisa Fiorillo.
I'm from New York City. I pride myself on my pronunciation.
It's the accent.
Fiorillo.
Hey.
Fiorillo. Yeah. Hey. We're both from around the way. Talking about from around the way, I love the genre. You actually participated in the genre. An era of music of which
Adored.
Any guy wants to play it, he'll drop my pants right then and there. Okay. Sorry, there I go again. But still, you know that era of music was music. It was magical. Expression was expression. And you were one of the names that got to actually participate with some of the big names that created that. Drop some names for me, why don't you?
Let's see. Well, I first started with Jelly Bean Benitez, who was the big DJ, Madonna's guy.
Yeah, exactly. Now not a lot of people know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's when I had my first hit single, Who Found Who.
Wow.
And then after that...
What year was that?
That was in 1987.
1987, that's okay.
That's right, that's the year I graduated high school.
That's it, right.
I am dating myself. And,
awesome.
Yeah. And then after that, I worked with... I went to Minnesota to work with a guy named David Z, who produced the Fine Young Cannibals,
yes,
the Jets,
yes,
Joey Watley,
yes,
and all those great artists. And Prince ended up walking in the room and kind of said, "Hey, I like your voice. Let's work."
Wow.
Let's work.
Wow. I like your voice. We're about the same height. Let's do this.
Let's work. Yeah.
So this began the beginning of a great
and I was
collaboration.
19, maybe 20.
Wow.
Yeah, just turning 20.
Wow.
Yeah,
how incredible was that?
It was incredible. And it was kind of funny because I was not like this huge like Gaga Prince fan. I was just a young kid growing up with like Barbara Streisand and
Right,
Diana
okay.
Ross and maybe, you know, a
Right,
little
right.
Jennifer Holiday. And
Yeah,
I am
nice.
telling you.
Woo! Beautiful.
So I grew up, you know, Beatles. I
Yes.
wasn't a Prince fan. So
Right.
when I met him, I really treated him like just one of the guys, and
Right,
I
like
had my
me.
Italian, you know, punch. I'd punch him in the arm, and he'd say,
Right,
"Will you stop hitting me?" And I'd be like, and then I never would call him by his name, and he would say, "Why don't you call me by my name?" And I said, "Because your name is weird. Like
Right.
I don't.
Right, we
I
don't do princes.
You're not a
Right.
king, a queen. You're like, what's your real name?"
Right,
And
right.
we just developed a very strong friendship because
Right on.
he knew that I was not a yes person. I was not, you know, goo goo gaga over him.
Well,
And
so
I
this-
figured that out because one day he brought in a cassette tape,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, "I was thinking maybe you want to do some of these songs." And the only song I recognized was "Darling Nikki."
Oh, my
And I was
darling
like,
Nikki.
"Those are your songs." And he goes, "So you do know who I am?" And I went, "Yeah, am I supposed to treat you differently?" And from that point on, it was like,
That was it.
That was it.
You know, by that time, it must have been so refreshing to have found someone to have said those words to him, because by that time, everyone was telling him what he wanted to hear, not what he needed
Exactly.
to know. And to met somebody,
Oh, yeah. I mean, he ended up putting me, I'll never forget this, because I was like, "Why are you doing this to me?"
uh-huh.
He had me go in to sit with the editor on Graffiti Bridge when he was editing the movie.
Okay.
And he told the lady, he's like, "I gotta leave. She's gonna sit here and tell you what shots to use." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean?"
Yeah, well,
And so I sat there for a while as he left, and I said to the lady, "Just do what you do. It's not, you know, like, don't just pretend I'm not
Don't change
here."
a thing. Don't
But
change a
then,
thing.
he was right. There was the shot she was gonna use of him, and I was like, "No, he wouldn't like that shot. Here, roll back,
Right.
do that shot." And
Right.
I was like, he just knew,
Right.
And it was kind of fun. I was like, "Hey, I'm an editor now," you know.
Well, speaking of this, now this is not a very well known film of Prince's. A lot of people, I mean, you know, I consider
you're a
myself
real
a
big
person
Prince
who
fan.
really liked Prince. Well, I mean, I love Prince to the point where sometimes I'll have a conversation with people and I'll say, you know, I've played the Prince video game, and they're like, "Prince had a video?" I was like, "Oh
did?
yeah, he had a video game. The shape of his
Of the
emblem,
symbol.
of the symbol. There was a
Wow.
video game that was out. So, girl, I know my Prince. Okay, I love me some Prince." And when I always thought that he had the one movie, and
No.
now I'm hearing
Two,
this.
Under the Cherry Moon. You see that?
I knew
Oh,
nothing
Lord
about
have
this
mercy.
either.
Oh, sometimes it snows in April was on that darn, wasn't it?
Wow.
Wasn't that in the movie? If I remember correctly.
Our friend Joey is in the house. No, y'all can make some
Joey,
noise. We got an
yeah,
audience in here. Y'all can
Joey.
clap. Come on. Let's go.
Joey's
Woo.
the one that told me about you.
Yes, yes. That takes us back to Badlands when you did that.
Yes.
And this is what I really am trying to get around to. You are this. I'm trying to put myself in the head. This young teenager trying her best not to be starstruck. Meanwhile, she's starting off in New York. Now she's probably spending some time in Minnesota because
lot.
this is Princetown,
Right.
right? So you ain't gonna without going to Princetown. You know, how does she end up in Las Vegas? Where is this where in where do we
The long way down the road.
Okay, when is our first Las Vegas? Let's bring it home here.
Okay,
When's
let's
our
see.
first Las Vegas?
My first Las Vegas. Well, I moved here in 2005.
Okay, 2005.
Yes, and I.
Did you visit
was-
first? Had you visited first?
My
Did
mother
you know anything
lived
about?
here. My mother moved here.
So your mother is your mom
Yes.
still here?
No, she passed away.
Well, rest her
But
soul.
I had moved here to have a baby, get married, do the normal thing. 'Cause
Okay,
I was getting
all right.
tired of being on the road, living in a bus. I had toured with a band called Savage Garden.
I think I might have heard one or two things about them.
Yeah.
Love
Great
Savage
band,
Garden,
great
yeah.
singer,
They had
Darren
a
Hayes, love
guitarist that just
him.
passed away, I believe.
No, that was Soundgarden.
Soundgarden.
Everybody messes that up.
And
Savage Garden.
I have it on film. Isn't that great for all time?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
Savage Garden. They had I Knew I Loved You, Chicka Cherry Cola, all the great
Right on.
pop songs. Great singer. So I toured with him for 8 months. 8 months in a bus. And I met this guy in Minnesota, believe it or not,
Okay.
at a restaurant. I was sick of catering. I was like, I'm going to the restaurant. Who's coming with me? I'm buying on my, my little per diem money.
Right.
And my husband was working that day. He wasn't supposed to work, but fate had him working.
Your husband's name?
Michael.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, how's it going? We like to give a
Bling
shout out
on
to
it.
everybody.
Put a
Put some
ring on
I got some rings too, but hers are better. I'm sure you'll like that. Go ahead.
It's a pretty big ring.
That's some bling.
But yeah, so I met my husband there, and
Okay.
he came to the show, and
So this is where you guys meet.
that's
This is
where
how
I
you
met
Oh,
on the
okay,
road. And
okay,
so then
awesome.
I had to get on the tour bus and leave this gorgeous man behind, and I'm like, and Darren was on our bus, and all night I was like, oh, I'll never meet a nice guy. I just want to be married. I just want to be home.
Oh.
And he called me that night on the bus. Yeah.
Wow.
So we got together and we had our little thing, and then he moved to California. He moved in with me. Everybody said, you're crazy. It's too fast. I'm like, hey, I'm getting old. I got to get a ring on it, and I got to have a baby. Time's a ticket. Come on.
He's like, hey, no, he's the one. I'm in love. I don't need all the rest of this.
He had my
but
matching
those are
candlestick.
up there too, though. Those are the back.
Yeah, he had the matching candlestick to mine. So I was like, that's
that was a
fate.
sign.
That was a
that was
sign.
a symbol that you were looking
And he was
for.
from Minnesota now. Come on. So
Right on.
So
okay.
then he moved out. We got a little place, and then we moved to Vegas because we just wanted to make that transition. I thought, I'll come here, I'll do jazz because that's where my heart is now. And I had a baby, and then that was it. And then when she was 3, I got the call from Prince because I had done a show here, and the guy that did the sound did all of Prince's studio over. I forget his name. Oh, I blanked. But you messed up on Soundgarden, so
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
and you don't know that's Under the Cherry Moon. So
Right. I'm
so
good.
we're good. We're even.
We're good. Yeah,
We're
right.
even. So yeah. So anyway, I mentioned. I heard him talking about Paisley Park, and I said, Paisley Park? I said, wait a second, I used to work there.
Yeah, that's
So
Prince.
he's like, oh, and he's like, when I go back, I'll mention you. So he was at the Rio, and everybody kept saying, go to the Rio, waving
Love
his
the
face.
Rio. Love the Rio.
And I was like, nah, I can't do that. I'm not one of those people that go, hi, remember me, give me a job. You know?
Right.
So he went home and told him about me. I had a YouTube clip up to try to just get jazz gigs here.
Right.
And he called me after 20 years and said, hey, you wanna sing? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we're lucky that we do have so many of entertainment royalty that does come here to live and to count you among them. We are very fortunate. I would be very humbled and very fortunate for my show. I could get you to sing a little acapella.
Something. Maybe I'll teach you something from Graffiti Bridge.
Maybe you could teach me a little something.
Now, I can't say the Morris part because my grandmom almost disowned me when she heard his lines, and I didn't know what they were. Prince gave me the song to sing. He didn't play the parts, the Morris parts.
Right.
Just said, sing this. So
Right.
I started singing, and I'm like,
Right.
the love machine
Yeah.
will turn your body out.
Woo.
The love machine
Yeah.
make you scream and shout.
Beautiful.
The love machine will take your body higher, higher.
Wow.
If you don't, then I know you're a liar. And then Mars goes, don't lie.
Woo.
You want some love that'll make you cry. 22 tones looking from the neck down, moving in a quick speed, circular motion, round and round, like you like it, licking like you like it. And then I was like, oh no,
right.
my grandma gonna disown me. That's what happened.
Yeah. There were definitely certain bars from Darling Nikki that I definitely would not be able to hum inside the house.
I know. But in his older years, he wanted kids to come.
Right.
So everything got tamed down. Us girls weren't allowed to have, cleavage showing. He wanted us in long dresses. He wanted us to be regal. He wanted us to be queens.
Well, you know what? It just all it is the flow of life, isn't it? It's just the natural flow. When you're young, you want your body is new. You want the world to see your body, hear your voice,
right.
and everything. And when you get older, it's like, okay, y'all all done seeing this. All right, I got some other little bodies I'm trying to take care of over here. Y'all, calm down, sit down.
Cover that up.
Right. Yeah, it's just the natural type of progression, that we have with that.
Yep.
So, what do you have coming up now? What do we have to look forward to? What is going on with Elisa?
Well, one thing I always wanted to do, ever since I actually had my first record deal, I wanted to make like a Barbra Streisand record. But of course, a 15-year-old going to a label, they're like, why why Barbara Streisand? You're 15. Let's make you Madonna. You know.
Right, exactly.
So I was pushed to do the dance music. It wasn't really my thing.
Right.
I'm sorry, Joey. I know you love that stuff, and I don't say that I don't love it. It was fun.
Right.
But
And it paid the bills.
And it paid the bills.
Right,
But my heart has always been in like big band, like
Beautiful.
Great American Songbook, real songs with great lyrics, great melodies, and I got a call from a drummer in town, Adam Shandell. And he said, you've got to go sit in with this guy, Bruce Harper. He has a 19-piece big band here in Vegas, and he needs a singer. And I'm like, how much does it pay?
Right, wow. Because ain't nothing going on but the rent.
You got to pay the bills.
Ain't nothing going on but the rent.
And he's like,
Just
well,
saying.
it doesn't pay much. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard that one before. It's not.
Will they at least
not a
pay me
Prince gig.
attention?
Yes. So I hesitantly went, and I'll tell you what. Now, I worked with the best Prince, okay? Best
Yes,
teacher there ever was that I ever had in my life.
That's one of the best references you can get. That's
Yeah.
the Mozart of our times.
Yes, and to sit amongst these musicians, they're all reading music. I was nervous, and I like being nervous.
Right.
You know, I
It's
like
a challenge.
being
It's that
pushed.
challenge.
Yeah,
Right.
to
Yeah,
be
right.
better.
Right.
And the first time I sang them, I didn't do so good. I mean, I did okay.
Right.
But it's definitely.
But you know you, and you know what
Yeah.
you're up to, and you weren't up to your specs.
Exactly.
Right,
But
right.
I'd go. Then I said, I'm going back next week. I'm gonna be better
I'm
next
up
week.
my game.
And then I'd go back, and every week it just started.
So they
to fit.
encouraged you to become a better performer. You feel?
Yeah,
you felt that
they definitely did.
they
These
pushed
guys
you
are
up
the
there.
greatest. They're, they play with all the big, shows in town. I mean, because everybody has to work.
Right.
But
Exactly.
they give their
exactly.
Tuesday nights and come for free to sit there and rehearse and read and keep their craft going, which is so admirable and such like they're real musicians,
Yeah. Yeah.
And they do it for the love of the music. I mean, it's hard to book a band that has 19 people in it,
Well, that's
It's
why I like
hard
to
to-
talk to
to
people
get-
when you find your passion.
Right.
That's one of the central premises behind this show
Mm-hmm.
is finding your passion, because I don't care what you're doing if it's just paying the bills and that's all it'll ever do is pay the bills. But when you're passionate about it, you're always going to want to sharpen that saw.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
always going to want to get better, whether it's paying or not.
Right.
You're just going to want to do it, and that's why you'll eventually get the pay. You'll get all that will come
Right.
as long as you're going down that path.
You know what? I could be paid $100 to do it, but I feel like I'm being paid $1 million.
Exactly.
I stand up there in front of that band, and I can't wait. Next Thursday night, the 28th September. Get your tickets if you haven't gotten them.
Where is this going to be at?
WWWTheSmithCenter.com.
At the
It's
Smith Center.
Smith Center in the Cabaret Jazz. It's a wonderful room, great
Wow.
sound, great lighting. Seats are like $20 to $35, so it's great seats. No matter where you sit, you could buy the $20 nosebleed, and you still can see, hear. It's a great show.
Well, if anyone has any doubt of what an amazing show you put on, we actually were fortunate enough to get some pictures
yeah,
of
that's-
you from some past events.
Yes, this is Shelby J, Liv Warfield, and myself in our Abu Dhabi dresses that we went and bought in Abu Dhabi.
Wow,
Because
nice.
Prince said, dress like queens.
You
and
ever go
that's-
back there, you just bring me a silk scarf, because I like to
Okay.
use that for my tarot readings.
Okay.
Okay?
I will.
I would love to say, oh, girl, you're getting ready with the silk scarf from Abu Dhabi, okay? Don't give me no stuff. I'm giving you the real
I'll
stuff
do
here,
that.
okay?
I will do that.
Okay.
And then, let's see, this
And
one
what's
was...
this is you très chic.
I'm closing my eyes, feeling the music.
Mm.
Yeah, that's it. That's
beautiful, beautiful.
Me. My hair was really blonde then. I need a touch up.
You must have been up to more fun back then. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what they say.
And
this is the next week's show.
This is where
The magic.
Elisa is going to be,
That's the passion right there.
and that's going to be coming up on the 28th.
28th, 7 o'clock show. I think it's an hour and a half show. We'll be done by 8:30, so you can go take off and go to other shows on the strip. But it's Thursday night.
At the Smith
At the
Center.
Smith Center.
Okay. Well, I'll be here doing a show most likely, but I'll definitely be rooting you on
Well,
because we
thank
film
you.
on Thursday.
Well, the
But
next
we're gonna
one's
get
in
that.
December.
Okay,
It's on a
good.
It's on a Monday, so you're coming.
All right.
You
I
are
want
coming.
to be there. I definitely want to be there. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Aw.
Can I ask you a question? I didn't get a chance to ask this last time, but this is something I've been wondering about some of my performers. But do you sometimes do private engagements? Are you available for private engagements?
Oh yes, definitely. And I have on my website is my manager,
Okay.
on the contact page.
Right. And how would we be able to get in contact with your website? How do we get in contact with your website?
www.elisafiorillo.com.
Fiorillo with an F.
Fiorillo. Or if you want to book the big band, me, which is my favorite thing to do.
Right.
Bruce Harper has a website, which is www.bruceharper.com, I think it is. Oh, that's when I was leader of the mob. The Prince mob.
That's awesome. Well, what an amazing career. What an incredible repertoire of songs that you have gathered over the years that you'll be able to share with us, and now you're expanding it to your lifetime passion with this Miss Streisand, who is a personal favorite of mine.
Oh,
you know how big I am with LGBT, with people who love people.
Are the luckiest people. I started too high. In the world. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'd love to have you on again
I'll
sometime
be
before
back.
December. Maybe we could talk about
Yes,
promoting
for
the
sure.
next show.
Next show, and then you'll be able to come because it's a Monday.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being
Oh,
on.
you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
The amazing Miss Elisa Fiorillo.
Oh, he still said
Elisa Fiorillo.
Elisa Fiorillo.
Elisa Fiorillo.
Elisa Fiorillo.
Can we edit this? I feel myself drowning here.
What's it worth to you?
Thanks, John. Well, my last name isn't Fortune for nothing. Anyway, that's it for this segment of Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe, and we'll be right back.
Retrospects is a purveyor, if you will, of historical eyewear. Retrospects is located on the second floor, right across from the chandelier bar. So when you look at our store from the outside, it looks like there isn't much going on in here. And then you open the drawers. We actually carry authentic pieces from the late 1890s to the 1990s. We have almost 3,000 pieces in here. It's like a treasure trove reveal. We do have a collection of new glasses that we have reproduced ourselves. It's called the Cuthbert and Chen collection. The safe is our jewel. It's our baby. We love it. It's from 1903. It weighs as much as a car. It's solid steel. We use the safe to hold our most precious pieces, our museum collection, if you will. People come in to find glasses that are not something they're going to find everywhere else. Not something all their friends are wearing, and something that they can tell that story. We sell stories as much as we sell glasses. We have pieces that we can associate with very famous people from history, movies, special events that happened in the past. And some of the favorites are the Ray-Ban shooter that Johnny Depp wore in Fear and Loathing of Las Vegas, the beautiful frame France Parisian plastic aviator worn by Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon. Retrospects is not just about glasses. It's about the experience. It's about how these glasses make you feel. We are a full-service optical shop, somewhere where guests can come to get repairs, restoration, can put their prescription in, can get them a quick pair of sunglasses for the pool, and can give them a really great, just fun experience.
And welcome back to this edition of Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. I have a very special guest with me today, Miss Tin Hwang. She is a lawyer. She's actually my lawyer. I'm very happy to say. She's helping me with the personal injury claim. And I was so impressed, Tin, when I met you, when I came into your office, because let me say, I Googled you.
Okay.
And I found you through Google, and I'm a level 6 reviewer with Google. Yeah, big deal. But so I always I go with Google and everything like that, and I was impressed by the comments that was left there. And then when I came in,
Right.
well, first I called you, right? I called
Yeah,
you, and
you
then
did
you called
call.
me back, right? She called me right back, or like within
The
15,
same
20
day.
minutes, the same day, right? Definitely got me within the same day.
Yeah.
And I was very impressed with your knowledge right then when I told you about the accident and the questions that you
Right.
asked me. And so
Good,
subsequently
good.
I
That's
came
good to
in.
know.
Yeah, I was
love
really,
feedback.
yeah.
You know, that's what gets my business going.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, we hit it off. We just really hit it off really well. Your friend, what was your friend's name?
Megan.
Megan, yes. Hi,
Rice.
Megan. How you doing? We like to say hi to everybody. Okay, right. You and Megan were there, and we had a really great conversation and everything like that. And I was impressed by you so much that I asked you to become a guest on my show,
Yeah,
and you
thank
agreed.
you.
I really appreciate it.
Thank
Well,
you
welcome.
for having me here. This is awesome. I'm excited.
I'm glad that you're here. Tell me, you practice not just personal injury, though. There are other areas of law of which your offices go into and which you yourself are personally interested in.
Absolutely. So I do practice family law, and that's majority of my cases are there, besides personal injury. So I would
Okay.
say top two would be personal injury, particularly automobile accidents. Okay, traffic citations, of course.
Right.
And then we have the family law. So family law, it entails helping people get a divorce. I know that doesn't seem like a happy subject.
Well, I doubt. I mean, it's not going to be a happy subject anyway. We're talking law.
If
We're not
you're-
talking happy
If
subjects.
you're coming to
Right.
me, it's never happy.
Right. But what we are hoping for is a happy ending or a happy
Absolutely.
resolution. And
Absolutely.
this is where where you're trying to guide this. place
Absolutely. So there's a lot of people that I help with divorces, or even helping them draft a prenuptial agreement.
Okay.
Right before they get married. So
Because
just
that's
to
very
protect their
important also.
assets, protect their
Exactly.
income. So later on, something goes down the hill. At least you know what's yours is yours, what's
Right.
theirs is theirs, and you're not battling out in court. So another area that I practice is custody also. So
Okay.
custody is where it gets pretty ugly. That's where people will throw
Well, 'cause
money.
children are involved now.
Yep, absolutely. So that area is tough and it's very emotional.
I would imagine. Now, when you say assets, that's very important to mention because many people may be aware, but Nevada is a common law state. So for them to just assume that they're going to keep everything that they went into with their marriage, that might not necessarily be the case.
No,
2, 3,
definitely
4
not.
years down the road.
Right. So Nevada is a community property state.
Oh, a community
which
property
means
state, okay.
Whatever you acquire during your marriage, your spouse is entitled to 50% of that. So that's scary. Locq. So a lot of people, they say, okay, I get married,
Right.
and then I make $100,000 a year. My spouse makes $25,000 a year. Guess what? If you get a divorce, your spouse is actually entitled to 50% of your income, even though that's automatically,
Even though they made income.
deposited into their account, which is separate, but you're married. So they're entitled to half of what you make. You're entitled to half of what they make. So a lot of people, they have a hard time digesting that idea.
That can be a very, very difficult subject to talk
It
about when you're
is.
talking about money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then custody, I would imagine, is even more emotional, especially when you're talking about the welfare of the child. And then now you're trying to determine not just what's best for these two individuals, but
Right.
what's best for the one that has no voice whatsoever.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they come in and they talk to me and they say, I hear that the judge is always going to rule in favor of mom. And I said, no, that's not how it works. And I like to clarify that. So the judge, rather than looking at mom, as a mom, because mom is always a primary caretaker, right? They're more
Right.
nurturing, they're more caring. But that judge actually looks at, there's so many tests that they look at. But the main thing is they're going to look and see that joint is always in the best interest of the children. Okay? If you want to opt out of joint, then you have to prove why. Is it in the best interest of the children now that you
Okay.
get primary custody or you have sole custody? So it's very complicated. It's more complex than saying, oh, mom is always going to be favored. That's not how it works.
And especially nowadays when, especially I would say since the year 2014 or so, with the oncoming of LGBT
Right.
marriages, now you can't just assume mommy because in a lot of cases you're having
You
two
have both
mommies
moms.
or you
That's
have two
true.
daddies,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep,
So
yeah.
you can't just assume that one or the other. So
Exactly,
how is the
exactly.
have you had any of these type of cases come across your desk yet? I know it's fairly new, but has anything yet surfaced?
Yeah, I have a few cases with
same-sex couples coming to me. A lot of it is more of adoption area or
Okay.
getting guardianship.
So the formation of the family more than the dissolution of the family.
Because they're not so focused now that, mom is going to have primary custody of the children. No, because there's both moms or you have
Right.
two dads, so that won't be
Right.
an issue there. But at the end of the day, it's always what is in the best interest of the children. That's the test.
Now, tell me, have you found anything in regards to the legalities, in regards to straight versus gay couples, in regards to the adoption procedures? That's something else that I think, in either case, you're going to want to seek legal counsel. I mean, I'm sure that there's not a case, even if you're a straight couple, that you would just say, "Oh, I'm just going to adopt," and no, I don't need a lawyer. I mean, either case, you're going to want a lawyer. But I would imagine that in the LGBT case, you're more. There probably going to be some more obstacles than.
No, it's actually the same things that the
feel like
court
we're
will
at a
require you to present. So, of course, the court will look into your background, your criminal history to see if, you were previously charged with domestic violence, child neglect, child abuse. So those are all red flags.
Okay.
And another thing that they look at is also your credit history. Are you financially stable? Are you responsible person? So these tests are the same, regardless of same-sex couples trying to adopt.
Okay. Now, from what I understand, if you are going to adopt and the child that you're going to adopt has some type of blood relation to you, then there is some type of preferential treatment in regards to the adoption process. If, say, for example, you pass all the bars that you just mentioned,
Okay.
and you've also shown an interest in this child, but of
Right.
course there's other people that might be interested in this child. Maybe they're at the supreme adoption age, maybe
Yeah.
3 years old or something like that. But because you're a blood, is there sometimes some preferential treatment?
Absolutely, yeah. If you're the maternal, paternal father, or the mother, then of course the judge will favor that. Okay, that parent, absolutely.
Or aunt or uncle or grandparent.
Oh, okay. So if
That's
you're
what I'm saying,
talking
like
about not
yeah.
directly. Okay.
Right.
Well,
I'm
there
saying.
is some. Of course, there is, but there also isn't, because the judge ultimately, at the end of the day, needs to make sure that the child will be taken care of. So
Okay.
the same test will apply. They'll look into your background, looking to see if you have any kind of criminal history. The same, requirements
Are gonna
and
be
proof
there.
needs to be, presented.
Well, from what I understand, also here in Las Vegas, we've just got some pretty good news in regards to our nonprofit and in regards to what we're going to be able to receive here in regards to legal services.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a few nonprofit organizations right now where attorneys, they provide pro bono legal services to, victims or anybody that needs, legal assistance.
Now, pro
They're
bono means free.
Free,
Okay,
absolutely
just in
free.
case.
So you don't have to pay not even a penny to
Okay.
the attorney, which is awesome.
That free's the best price going in my book. That's for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
See, you were all nervous. I told you this was going to go great. I told
Thank
her.
you. It's all your help.
So yeah, tell me about this again.
Okay, so I do work with a nonprofit organization in particular. Well, we help victims of domestic violence and sexual assault, human trafficking. Okay, so if you come in
that's
here
big
and
in
you are a
Vegas.
victim, oh yeah, absolutely. Domestic violence is huge here in Vegas. I have a lot of people coming
Well,
in.
it's because the city is such a transient city, isn't it? That does not help. I mean, along with it being the entertainment capital of the world.
Yeah.
But then people are coming and they're going. They're not really placing down the roots,
They are not.
and so this,
Yep,
I would think, would
that's true.
exacerbate
Yep.
the overall.
I agree, absolutely. So when these victims come to us, and what we'll do is generally in the very beginning stages, we want to make sure that, okay, you are a victim of domestic violence, you call the cops or somebody was arrested. Oh, one important thing. So if you are going to call the cops and you are a victim of domestic violence, or you might be the perpetrator, or maybe there's, both parties are kind of abusive to each other.
Okay.
There is a law, not a lot of people know about this, but there is a law. It's called mandatory arrest. So the police comes, okay,
They have to
because
take somebody.
They have to take someone. If they cannot tell who is a perpetrator, who is the aggressor, guess who they're going to take? Both.
Oh, so
Yeah.
both will go. Okay.
Both will go if they cannot tell.
Yeah, they're not going to play this little guessing game. They got things to do,
they're
so
gonna
they just
take
take these
both.
both to jail, and then
Yeah.
they're going to go back out. And
So-
very interesting. Yeah, I didn't know about that, but that is an important thing
Yeah.
that many people
So
might not
before you
know.
pick up that phone, be careful, because
Mhm.
if they have scratches on them, you're probably gonna go in.
Right, right. And also a very important thing to note with this is sometimes it's not always a 911 situation. Sometimes you're turning a 311 situation
Oh, yeah.
into a 911 situation. Maybe you might not want to escalate it to the 911 point.
Sure,
Maybe we might
sure.
want to use the 311 before
First.
we get
Get.
to that 911
Of course,
point.
if it's
A lot of people don't know
life-threatening,
about
where you
that.
think that you're going to be
Then you wanna
significantly
go-
harmed,
right.
then definitely call 911.
Right, but
for
if it's
sure.
at the annoyance level, if it's at the level where, you know, you just can't find something, you think that they took it, 311, okay, right?
Yes.
Right, okay, so we will go with that. Another thing I think is important, I would think, I don't know, I'll let you, because you're the expert, to let me know, but I would imagine that you might get a lot of contact with people from out of state who have lost track of someone who they may be thinking are victims of sexual crime, or such as a teenager, or may be lost in the morass that is Las Vegas. Do you get a lot of that?
Not really.
No?
We
No?
get majority of the people that come forward are just victims of domestic violence.
The
you know?
victims themselves, not
So then
people
they-
looking for them, but
No,
people
no.
that are
victims
that's sad.
themselves. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
lot of people in abusive relationships, and then a lot of these people, they don't want to come forward because they've been in it for so long. So now they're just trying to just cope with it and just deal with it. But I always tell them, hey, we're not going to contact your spouse or whoever's victimizing you. We're just here to help you.
Confidentiality is
Everything
very important that they know, that they understand it's confidential,
communication.
privileged
Absolutely.
Well, Tin, this has been absolutely amazing, absolutely wonderful time spending with you. Time flies when we're having fun.
Yeah, it
But
really does.
tell me, how long, number one, have you been here in Las Vegas? Are practicing law overall?
So I'm actually born and raised here, believe it or not.
Whoa, okay. Well, wait a minute. I need to get her autograph. I mean, you talk about rare. Stars are not as rare as people born and raised in Las Vegas.
Yeah, but I did go back to
Wow.
Taiwan. So my parents, their roots are from Taiwan, Taipei and Tainan. And then I went
Wow.
back there while I was little because my parents were so busy working,
Uh-huh.
So then I went back there and stayed with aunt and uncles for a
You
couple of
know,
years.
60 Minutes did a segment on this, I believe.
Really?
That this was a phenomenon among Asians,
Uh-huh.
whereas the first generation family that is here,
Yeah.
that they're giving raise to a whole nother generations that were not really raised by their parents, but were actually went back home and then were raised by, right?
By relatives.
By relatives
family
and everything.
members,
And then talking about
grandparents.
the disorientation that they go through
Oh, yeah.
when they come back, and all of a
Totally
sudden now
different.
these are your
Yeah.
parents all of a sudden, and
Yeah, imagine you're going to school there, you're speaking Mandarin, and then all of a sudden you're here and you're like, what is, all you know how to say is hello. It's difficult, right?
my boyfriend went through a similar thing. He's
Okay.
Japanese,
Okay.
and was with his parents until 15, and then 15 he was brought here.
Oh, wow.
So he went through the reverse, where he
Yeah.
actually got to understand the culture and
Wow.
everything like that, and then got thrown into a totally different culture that he had to
Wow.
bring himself to understand. So
That
that
must be
it's
difficult.
a very whole different parameter of challenges that your culture's generation goes through versus your
Yeah.
contemporaries in the white, Anglo, and in the African American, or even in the Hispanic
Sure.
community.
Sure.
Very
Applies
different
to-
in regards to what your
For
life
sure.
experiences are going to be
sure.
from what you experience. Well,
Agree.
Tin, so wonderful talking to you. How, if we are looking for your legal services, how would we find you? How will we locate you?
Well, I do have a website. And
Okay.
the website is www.hwanglawgroup. It's HWANG lawgroup.com. Or, of course, you can call my office, and ask for myself. I
Okay.
do offer free initial consultation.
Okay.
Telephone number 702-820-0888.
And you said Hwang Law Group.
Hwang Law Group.
Hwang Law
Uh-huh.
Group. So this is a family thing then.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
great. So then you go to work and you see your mom and dad, or what?
No,
was
no,
this?
no, not
I
don't think I can do
because I
that.
don't think I can do that either. Inquiring minds want to know.
too much.
Okay. So uncles are
Yeah, cousins.
anyone that you want to say hi to before we leave?
Want to say hi to Lawrence Hill. Hello.
Hi, Lawrence. How's it going? Okay. Well, thank you so much. I hope that we can have you back on the show again. I'd love to have you on this time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
That was a blast.
Well, Tin Hwang with Hwang Long Group.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on with Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe, and that's it for this segment.
Hey, this is Mingo from Mingo Kitchen and Lounge. Come downtown to my space, my restaurant, at 1017 South First Street in the Las Vegas Art District inside of Art Square. A couple of things we have going on is happy hour. That's from 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, except for First Friday. Sorry about that. And we're actually going to feature a summer happy hour, which will be 3 to 7 p.m., which is June 1st now through August 31st. So we're actually extending it an hour. And so you can join us for that extra hour of cocktails, food, and fun. Tuesdays, we have Taco Tuesday. We're starting that June 20th. And that'll be $2 tacos. We're going to feature a special taco, and it'll be only $2 with the purchase of any alcoholic beverage. And Saturdays, you can see Locq in person and get a free complimentary reading at our Psychic Saturday brunch. And that's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And welcome back to Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. Yes, we are back. And boy, I'm already getting love. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Phone is blowing up here with welcomes. I'm really thankful for that. We've had 2 weeks off, and this is the first of our new show. And so thank you so much for tuning in for the first episode of the new season. And have we got a great show for you today. We've got the amazing songstress, her song stylings, the amazing Miss Elisa Fiorillo. We are going to start this again. We are going And welcome back to Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. Wow, what a great show was that. Was that not amazing? Her music, her voice. Thank you so much, Elisa Fiorillo, for coming on the show. So sorry for butchering your name during the interview, but Elisa Fiorillo, okay? Love you. Please, you are welcome back on the show anytime. That was just amazing. So humbled to have you on the show talking about Prince and the time that you spent with him and the other entertainers that you were so fortunate to have time with and share with us during the show. And also, thank you so much for being on the show. A special shout out and thank you to Tin Hwang. My favorite lawyer here in Las Vegas, okay, and my lawyer. Wonderful, wonderful interview with you. Great times. Very informative. Great talking to you about family law and what's going on with family law and what strides Las Vegas has made in that area and the subject of personal injury. Looking forward to having you back on. In the meantime, we've come to the end of the show. And at the end of the show, you know what I like to do. I like to go over a little bit about some products that I've had in the past because, you know, I want to pull you guys in and whatnot, you know. I have a very strong female gathering, but it's something for you guys to look at and look forward to. The Fix Me Stick. So the Fix Me Stick, if you guys watched the show, the last show of the season, of last season, this is the first show of the second season. At the last show of last season, I did a review of what we call the Fix Me Stick. It's a stick. I didn't bring it with me, but you plug it into the side of your computer, and it looks for viruses, and it's kind of like a little UPS stick, and it cleans out the viruses. And I had a really great... Thanks, John. Looks a little bit like this, one of these UPS things there, but it says Fix Me Stick on it. Anyway, like I said, you're going to use it, and then why are you going to pay the $9.95 per month? Why not just return the Fix Me Stick? So that's what I did. I returned the Fix Me Stick. I thought they was going to give me a little bit of a runaround at first because they do not give you an address to return the Fix Me Stick to. So I went to their customer service. I asked for the address to mail it back. They got back to me immediately, asked me what the problem was. I explained to them that while the Fix Me Stick did clear out the viruses, it did not speed up my computer the way that I thought that it was going to speed it up. And so therefore, I was no longer going to be able to need it. They came back and said, that's fine, no problem. We will refund you the money. So they actually refunded me the money that I spent. And they said, no problem. Don't worry about returning the stick. If you want to use it again, just plug it in, renew at that time, you'll be good to go. I don't know. That sounds like great service to me. That sounds like great. I was able to clean out my computer for free, basically, and my mom's computer also for free, basically, because you can use up to 3 computers with the Fix Me Stick. So I was able to use both of those, cancel it out, still have the Fix Me Stick at home. So if either of our computers go through a problem or has a problem in the future, guess who I'm going to use? Great customer service. I say go with them. Second product that I wanted to review. Yeah, as seen on TV, these great sunglasses here, okay? I told you that I got these from the As Seen on TV, where you can actually see an eagle if you put it to the right. I'm not sure about the eagle part or anything like that, but I will tell you so far, I am absolutely very happy with these. You guys know that I've had the same sunglasses, the same pair of sunglasses for 7 years now, and I still love my Revos. I'm not leaving my Revos, okay? But I'm telling you, on sunny days, nothing beats these things. I got to do a little bit of a disclaimer, though, because at the last show, I said that I wear them during driving. Well, I read the packaging, and the packaging specifically says not to be worn during driving. So I don't think the guys at Fix Me, I don't think the guys would want me to say that I wear it during driving. But it does say hiking, sports, things like that, and I guarantee you, I wear this puppy during all that. It's proven to be highly resilient. Only problem that I've had is with the nose piece. If you're sweaty, this nose piece thing comes off pretty easily. So you got to think about that. You could get around that problem. Just get yourself some crazy glue or something like that, and crazy glue it on. Don't put the thing on your nose right after you crazy glued it, or either you will not get it off of your nose, or you'll end up with one hell of a high that you don't want, okay? Just glue it and then put it away, put it down, and let it dry, and then get back to you, and that's how you fix the nose thing. I'm so full of disclaimers here, John. I'm telling you, everyone's after me. They want a piece of me.
I was going to ask you, is that why you needed a lawyer? You were wearing those while you were driving?
Hey, I don't look into the future for nothing, my friend. I got to have that covered. Anyway. So that's it for this edition of Locq Fortune's Vegas Vibe. Remember, if you have a party or special event that you'd like to have a psychic at, someone to tell fortunes, or maybe even just mingle through the crowd and reveal fortunes, I'm available. I'm the only psychic in Las Vegas that's actually licensed to the client. In the meanwhile, if you'd like to find out a little bit more about me, or even a little bit more about yourself, you might want to download my ebook. It's Vibology, and it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Kindle, any of your major resources. You can download that ebook, and you'll find out a lot about you, your name, and what it means to the universe. Anyway, that's it for this edition. Thank you so much for tuning in to my first show of the second season. I think it's been a successful one. We'll know because we'll get your likes and we'll get your shares. That's what we're doing all this for. So don't forget to like and don't forget to share. Until next week, that's it.
Vibrations,